right and on the left. I'm an equal opportunity condemner of anti-Semitism.
You're alluding to Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, none of them are any good on the right. On the left, I don't like any of these anti-Semites, and I'm not shy about it. But the government, the United States government, or the government of France, or the government of any other country, has the power to rein in anti-Semitism in a much more effective way. And you know, people say, well, you know, the governments are not in the business of changing the way people think. That's true, but, you know, to my thinking, most people who are, you know, anti-Semites, most of these people running around, we're not going to win their hearts and minds because they don't have hearts and they don't have minds. So, you know, how are we going to, there's no reason to think we're ever going to convince them, but we can deport them, we can put them in jail, we can make their lives miserable, we can cut off their funding, and that's what the Trump administration is doing for the first time.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem, Rachach, Wadash, double honor to the elders and apostles like your millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect, Shalom, Barakathum. And the video you just saw, I'm going to post it in the beginning of this, Lord's will. It was a video of David Friedman, okay? This is where it all started. Let me get set up here, Salakia. Rolling in the spirit a little bit here. But this is where it all started, you know? It starts with rhetoric. Now, the precept that comes to mind, I'm going to get it here in Sirach as soon as I get my phone connected here. Actually, it may come up without it. Let me pull it up. And this is to lamb back on the what brothers have been bringing out about the recent executive order Trump signed, okay? Before he puts hands on you physically, he demonizes you. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 22. All right, it says. Verse 24, it says, as the vapor and smoke of a furnace goeth before the fire, so reviling before blood. Okay, so reviling before blood. So they have to demonize you and label you all kind of things before they go ahead and do what they already imagined and planned to do. Okay, this is right out of the CIA handbook. Okay, they come up with buzz terms. They have something called NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming, okay? Buzzwords, all right? Let me see if it'll come up in Google. Okay, it says neuro-linguistic programming is a pseudo-scientific approach to communication, personal development, and psychotherapy, okay? Now, they say it's pseudo-scientific, but we all know that the CIA, they don't just do things because for the fun of it. They oftentimes they know, okay? Just like for a while they thought hypnosis was pseudoscience, but then you find out the CIA was doing experiments with hypnosis, putting people under hypnosis, okay? Doing mind-altering techniques, all right? And that's basically what America has become. That's what the modern day media has become, and it got really easier back in the Communications Act in the 90s when they consolidated about 50 different news companies into 6. You know, you got your Fox, you got your NBC, you got your ABC, you know, a handful of them. All right, and now they're all infiltrated. They're basically talking points. When Esau wants to tell you something, he puts a person on there with a suit and tie and a business suit on, you know, to basically speak the things that they want you to believe, okay, that they're already going to do. They don't report the news, okay? What they're doing is selling you a message, you know, under the guise of telling you news. But what they really plan on doing is just controlling you, man. And so where is this going to lead? You know, let me finish the rest of this in Sirach. Let me see, is it more? Yeah, I'll finish the rest. Verse 25, it says, I will not be ashamed to defend a friend, neither will I hide myself from him. All right, and our friend is who? Yahushua. Okay, so ultimately we got to stand on business. Okay, I'm gonna get that, because they're gonna come after us, man. And you got agents that are looking to undermine that, man. You know, because when you preach Yahushua, the true gospel, that's at enmity with the world, man. Okay, there's consequences to that, but the Lord is going to do what? Defend us. So all of these men that preach part of Yahushua, but they didn't preach the whole thing, guess what? That was just enough to make you an enemy, but it's not enough for the Lord to defend you. So you're going to be caught. That's why the judgment is going to begin where? At the house of Israel. Okay, you guys that know that you're Israelite and y'all are lollygagging, y'all are distracted by other things. He's about to roll on you, man. Okay, on us, but we're going to be defended. Lord willing, we're of the elect. Okay, and in all of this chaos, where you know you ain't gonna have food on shelves pretty soon, and gas prices are going to go up, and the economy's getting ready to go, you know, down. All right, that y'all are going to need defense, man. You're not going to get out of this by conventional means. But I'll finish it. Okay, it says, verse 25, I will not be ashamed to defend a friend, neither will I hide myself from him. And if any evil happen unto me by him, everyone that heareth it will be aware of him. All right, it says, who shall set a watch before my mouth, and a seal of wisdom upon my lips, that I fall not suddenly by them, and that my tongue destroy me not. Okay, so our tongue, the things that we say, is going to make us a target, you know, but ultimately the Lord is going to defend us like he said he would. Okay, that's in Esdras, I believe. All right, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 2, verse 42. It says, I, Esdras, saw up on the Mount Zion a great people. Who are the great people? That's the elect. Okay, this is the same image you see in Revelation, the 7th chapter. It's not talking about all nations. All right, it's talking about the elect that were scattered among all nations. Not all nations, big difference. Okay, it says, whom I could not number. And they all praised the Lord Yahweh with songs, and in the midst of them there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. Okay, this is Yahushua who's giving us our reward for being faithful. Okay, some of us are going to be martyred for this thing, man. You know, some brothers are in the spirit world now, you know, but they finished their course, and they're going to be among this number to get crowned. It says, verse 44, so I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? And he said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive palms. And just confessing the name of the Lord, you're going to be labeled an anti-something, you know. And this Trump administration is doing a great job at setting this whole thing up. All right. These people are not going to defend you, man. They're going to be worried about their own self. The Lord is going to have to defend you, and that's going to require faith. Okay, without faith, you're basically screwed, okay? Well, you are screwed. It says, verse 46, then said I unto the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Okay? And when you do that, that angers them, man. Why? Because we're not of the world. You know, you can get that in the book of John. It said the world would love its own, but it doesn't love us, does it? Okay, and it's gonna be a open hatred, not a secret one, when it's all said and done. Okay, and it says, then began I to greatly commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. Okay, And we're the ones that are standing stiffly. A lot of you Israelites that even have the name, y'all are gonna buckle when it comes down to it. Okay, you're gonna get hungry. You're gonna get scared of the sword. Okay, you're gonna be fearful of the pestilences and all of the judgments the Lord is gonna unleash. But the scriptures say the elect, we're gonna be good. Why? Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of salvation. So we're gonna know, and it's gonna go from a faith to knowing, because we're gonna just have the Spirit on us, man, to know that we're of that number, you know, and the Lord is gonna deal with us. Okay, it says the fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure. So wisdom and knowledge, that's gonna be our stability. Okay, that's what we're gonna get that everybody else is not gonna get. So y'all are gonna be panicking, looking for food, you know, fighting in the streets. You know, maybe you got some provision, and you're in a bunker or something somewhere, holed up, nervous. Okay, but we're not gonna work. We're not even gonna have the spirit of worrying, because we're gonna be stable. Okay. Isaiah 65:13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Who are his servants? The one that profess the name of the Lord, man. And that goes more than just knowing the name and saying the name out loud. You got to really stand on what the Lord stood for, man. Okay? You can't trim your ways to seek love. You can't dial down the doctrine because, you know, these people are want to label you particular words. You know, brothers may lose jobs in the near future. Brothers may get put in dire straits. We're all going to be tested, but eventually the Lord is going to lift up the standard for us. Okay. It says, behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart. We're going to be enjoying that moment while all hell's breaking loose, man. It says, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart and shall howl for vexation of spirit. How is it going to be one people are going to be we're going to both be in the same environment, the same scenario, but one people are going to have joy, the other people are going to be in misery? Huh? How is that going to happen? Let me find it. Psalms 91. And 3, it says, surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under the wing shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. So this is what we trust in. So although it's anxiety inducing, it's scary to hear how the devil is trying to set us up. We got to know by faith the Lord is going to defend us, man. And only the elect are going to truly have faith that it's going to be rooted in us. It's not going to be surface level. Okay, a tree that doesn't have its roots all the way in the ground, it's subject to get blown over by the wind. Okay, it's subject to be uprooted. Okay, and it says, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. So we're going to be in the midst of it, but we're not going to be afraid of it like these people are. Verse 6, nor for the pestilence that walketh in the darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but shall not come nigh thee, man. Okay, so it's like a spiritual force field is going to be around us. We spoke about the spiritual bunker at this past weekend camp. You know, that's what we have. Okay, and y'all are going to see why it looks foolish now, because all hell's not broken loose yet. But wait until it does. And just as comfortable as you see us now, we're going to be that when all hell breaks loose. Now, again, we're all going to be tempted. We're all going to have our hour of temptation, you know. But once we pass the test, man, that's a wrap. Okay? Once Abraham passed the test, once the Lord confirmed that he was willing to sacrifice his only son Isaac, which is a foreshadowing of his only begotten son, Yahushua. That was it. Okay? The covenant, everything was locked in at that point. Okay? It says, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Okay? Only with thine eyes. That means we're not going to partake in the reward of the wicked. This is for what's getting ready to happen, this destruction, these plagues, that is for the wicked. Okay? So anyway, I'm keeping this shorter. I'll end it there, Lord willing. This is edifying. Call hello, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Lachak Wadash. On to the next. Shalom.